let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to our graduate admission open house. My name is Sheila Gold. I am the Assistant Dean of Admissions for the School of Professional Advancement at Tulane University. I'm joined by my colleague, Ann Conlon. She is running the show in the background, making the slides go back and forth, and also monitoring our chat. So if you have any questions during the webinar, you can drop them in the chat. If you don't know how to do that, you can click on the chat button at the bottom, and I just put a welcome message to everybody, and so did Anne, and you can just reply back to that message with your question. So this webinar today is going to take about 20 minutes. We appreciate you all being here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Tulane University is made up of 10 different schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement, which I am representing today. The School of Professional Advancement started about 130, a little bit longer years ago. We're actually the third oldest school at the university. We've had different iterations throughout our many decades. However, we have always had a commitment to educating non-traditional students. So essentially, if you're anything other than that, like 18-year-old right out of high school that's seeking an undergraduate degree, then this is the right place for you. Most of our students are adults, and most of them are working while going to school. And so we strive to create an educational experience where you can balance both real life stuff and also manage your educational goals. We are located on the Uptown campus in New Orleans. With the Uptown campus is the main campus. That is our building, the orange building on the top right. We occupy the whole second floor. It's where you can find most of our administration and our advising and faculty. We love it when students are on campus and they come by and say hi. There's also a picture of our student lounge with the big mural that says "Where you belong," because that's our message to our students. You belong here. And that mural is actually created by some of our undergraduate digital design students. And that was a school project. They did such a beautiful job that we actually commissioned them to paint that on the wall in our lounge. People always ask, like, School of Professional Advancement, what is that? Is that really Tulane? Absolutely. Like I said, Tulane University is made up of 10 different schools. When you graduate from the School of Professional Advancement, your degree is going to look exactly like the one that you see on the screen. It's going to say Tulane University, School of Professional Advancement. It is going to have your name, the degree that you earned, the seal of the university, the signature of the president of the board and the president of the university, and our dean. So we always like to say Tulane programs taught by Tulane faculty, and you receive a Tulane degree. So we're going to talk a little bit over the next 15 minutes or so about the programs and our faculty that we offer at the graduate level. We'll talk a little bit about the learning experience that we think might be a little bit different from what you've experienced at other schools, how we support students to be successful and get that diploma that we just showed you, and we'll talk a little bit about the admissions process. So one of the things that we think differentiates us from other schools that you might be looking at is that all of our faculty are actually professionals in the field that they teach. So most faculties at school are full-time teachers. They teach, they do research in the area, and they teach students, and they might write some publications. Our faculty are all what we call professors of practice. That means that they're actual professionals who also spend some of their time teaching students. So when you come into our classes, you're actually learning from people who will be very much like the people who will be your bosses or the people whose jobs you will be interviewing for. So it is a little bit of a differentiator because we teach you real world skills that you're going to need the minute you graduate that will help you get a job. So, for instance, Ashley Hand is the director of strategic communications for the government of Kansas City, and she teaches in our MPA program. And so, when you need to learn about like how, through public administration, how they send communications out in like a city or a state or a municipality, you're learning from somebody who does that work every single day. Another example is Derek Bose. He works in our emergency and security program. He's the former chief administrator of the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority. So when you take his classes on emergency and response, he's an emergency responder. So he's teaching you all the stuff that gets done real life in real time. Tyra Mitchell has her doctorate in physical therapy. She teaches in our kinesiology program. So when she teaches you about the body, it's because she's actually worked on bodies. It's what she does. So you're learning from the best, and they teach you real world information that will help you be a much more marketable graduate upon graduation. So Amanda Fennell is one of our professors. She has a really great quote. I know you all can read, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. She says, as a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals, which is you all, the students, through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my classes at night. So she's a full-time IT and tech person who actually teaches our classes at night. And so she takes all of her expertise and gives it to you all. So, we have two pathways in our graduate education, full master's degrees and graduate certificates. So, we'll talk about those two pathways and how we can help you reach your goals. So, the master's degrees that we offer at the School of Professional Advancement are in cybersecurity management, emergency management, homeland security studies, IT, information technology management, sports studies, liberal arts, public administration. We have a Master of Art in Teaching, which is for folks who want to be classroom teachers. And then we have four different tracks of a Master's of Education. And our MED is for folks who want to do educational administration if you want to be a leader in a school. So if you want to be like a dean or a principal. So we have an MED in educational leadership and learning experience and design, which is developing curriculum, special education, or teaching English learners. So we have, like I said, we have two ways. We have smaller certificates, which we'll talk about in a second, which are about four different courses, where you can just get very concentrated knowledge in a very specific area of education. Or if you're interested in getting a full master's degree, you can take that certificate where you did your four classes, and that's about a third of a master's degree. So you can continue on and you'll already be done with a third of your master's. So people often start in a certificate and then continue on to complete their master's. So the certificates that we offer are on the screen. I'm not going to read them all to you, but we will email this slide to you. But in every area that we offer a master's degree, we offer different certificates. So for instance, if you're like, I don't have time to get a full MPA in public administration, but I am really interested in profit and strategic philanthropy, you can get a certificate in that. If you don't have time for a full master's degree in kinesiology, but you're interested in sport administration, you can get a certificate in that. So you can see they're very concentrated just for classes. We do, yes, that is launching. We have a strategic communication grad certificate that is upcoming. Okay. Next, please. All right, so we find that our learning experience is also a little bit different. All of our graduate degrees and graduate certificates are online, but our online programs are not like just sit at home alone and click through PowerPoints and answer some questions and turn it in for a grade. We have a very interactive online curriculum. You will, from time to time, need to Zoom into a class, very much like we are, and meet with a professor. You may have to do that once a month. There will be small group work that you'll need to do, so you'll get to meet other people in your class. And we also have very interesting different ways of interacting with the curriculum. So, for instance, our faculty have created virtual and online scenarios where you may need to, click on a link. You'll sort of log in to the metaverse, some sort of online scenario that they've created. You'll create an avatar for yourself and you'll work through, and if you could click to the next slide, if you can work through a problem, come up with a solution, submit the solution as your homework for that week. So that's sort of like what that top picture represents. But it's a very different interactive way to work through the curriculum. Another way that our faculty find that students enjoy learning the information the week is several of our faculty have actually recorded podcasts. So you can listen to the podcast. You can listen to 15 minutes of it on the way to work, another 15 minutes on the way back, maybe 20 minutes while you're cooking dinner. And instead of reading a chapter or two for the week, you can sort of engage with the curriculum for that week through a podcast. So our students like the different ways that we deliver our materials. They find it engaging and interactive, and they find that it's an elevated experience from maybe what they've had in the past. So another thing that we do that we think differentiates us from other schools is we are very committed to helping our students be successful. So we're not just interested in having you get into the school, although we definitely want you to do that. We want you to graduate. We want you to get that diploma that we showed you a couple of slides earlier. So we wrap our students in a lot of support. You will have an academic advisor who is there to help you pick your classes, register for classes. They'll let you know what classes transfer from other programs if you're interested in doing that. They'll let you know how quickly you can move towards graduation if you want to take one class a semester or two classes a semester. They'll help you pick how quickly that will get you to your goal. We also have faculty advisors. And remember, I said all of our faculty are actually professionals in the field. So if you're taking technology, or you're interested in emergency or security, your faculty will actually be practitioners in that field. So think of these people as like professional mentors, people who can introduce you to their professional group and help open you up to the world that you eventually want to get a job in, and maybe can introduce you to their professional contacts as well. We also have our own dedicated career advisor who's just for the School of Professional Advancement. We do not share her with any other part of the university. So she can help you with your resume. She can help you put your LinkedIn page together. Also, if you have an interview coming up, she can practice interview questions with you so that when you go into the interview, you will have already anticipated some of the questions that you might get asked, and that your presentation will be very smooth to a potential employer. All right. Another thing that we offer our students is what we call credit for prior learning. Many of our students come to us with lots of years of professional experience, even in the field that you're studying. So oftentimes our students will get into our master's programs and they'll find that there may be a class that they're like, wait a minute, I don't need to take this class. I already know how to do everything that the class is trying to teach me. So for instance, if you're in our MPA program and you have to take a class on grant writing and you've been a grant writer for years, you wouldn't need to take that class. So if something like that is the case, then you can work with your advisor to get what we call credit for prior learning. And this is a program where you can go to your advisor and say, I already know everything that is on the syllabus that it's going to teach me. And if you can demonstrate to the faculty member through like a written paper or some other things, maybe turning in a grant that you've written, whatever it is that you can demonstrate to the faculty member that shows that you already have the knowledge, that you need to get on the syllabus, then you can get credit for prior learning. You can do that for up to 2 classes at the graduate level, and that can save you almost $8,000. So and that's 2 classes closer towards graduation. So it will save you money and speed up your time towards graduation. All right, so a little bit about our tuition rates. So tuition at the graduate level for spring term, which is coming up in January, is $3,924 per course. The majority of our courses are 3 credit courses, so that is for a 3 credit course. There are about 11 classes to complete a whole graduate degree. If you're interested in just a graduate certificate, that'll be 4 courses. We do have our Masters of Art in Teaching and our graduate certificates in special ed and teaching English learners are actually less expensive. They are at our undergraduate rate of $2,022 per course. We do offer federal grants and loans. Most of our students do apply for financial aid. Like we said, we offer 6 credit hours, which is 2 courses for prior credit for prior learning. If you are going to transfer any classes into your graduate program, we will give you a $1,500 tuition credit. And we have an early enrollment scholarship. So if you apply and you register for classes, early, then you get $500 off your first semester. So that's just an incentive for you to get your application in and register for classes and save yourself $500 off your first semester. We also offer several 20% tuition discounts. So if you are active duty military or a veteran, if you've already gotten a degree at Tulane, if you are active or retired federal, state, or local emergency services or law enforcement, first responder, firefighter, if you're a member of PTK, which is the 2-year college honor society, if you're a current K through 12 teacher, if you're a state or local government employee, or if you're a member of one of our professional partnership agencies, and you can look for those on our website, you will receive a 20% tuition discount. So hopefully every single one of you falls under one of those categories and will receive the discount. Okay, so our application is an electronic application. It lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. Go on our website, pick the big button at the top that says apply. Click that. It will ask you if you're applying for graduate or undergraduate. You are applying for graduate. So open up the graduate application, and it's about 4 or 5 pages to fill out our application. Our application is not very long. At the graduate level, we do require that you upload a current government ID. So you can just use your phone to take a picture of your license and upload that. We will need transcripts from any school where you've received college credit. There are 2 questions generally that are a writing sample, 2 short answer questions. One's like 500 words and another's 1,000 words, something like that. And we will need a copy of your resume. We do not require any standardized tests, so hopefully that is very good news to everybody. And there is a $50 application fee. However, as a thank you for coming here in the middle of a Monday, we will waive your application fee. If you have already applied and paid that fee, please email me after this and I can refund that fee. It takes 30 seconds. Do not be shy. Just email me and say, I've already applied, but I just attended the webinar, and I'll refund you that $50. There are no international I'm so sorry, but there's no scholarships available for international students. So here's a little bit about our deadlines. So we're currently accepting applications for spring. That is our January term. You do not need letters of recommendation. No. Our application deadline is January 1, but you could get your application in today. Start it today, submit it tomorrow. If you get admitted and you register for classes by December 1st, which is in 2 weeks, you'll get that $500 early registration incentive scholarship. So go ahead and do that. It just saves you $500. If you're applying for summer term, The deadline is May, but you can apply right now. And if you register for classes by April 25th, you will get that $500. And then if you're really planning ahead and you want to start in the fall, that deadline is August 1, but you could go ahead and get your application in now. If you register by July 15th, you'll get the $500. Okay, so that is really our presentation for today. My contact information is sgold@tulane.edu. There is a phone number. I'm never really in front of my phone, but I'm always in front of my computer, so I email all day long. But if you have questions, please email me. I love to hear from students. Also, if you did pay your $50 already and you need to be reimbursed, email me. Email me right after this. I am happy to refund it. So tomorrow you'll be receiving a thank you email from me thanking you for attending this webinar, but there'll also be a copy of the recording of today's webinar. So if you want to rewatch or if there was some of the information that you missed or you want to reread the certificates, you can do that, or you can forward it to a friend who maybe couldn't attend today. So I really appreciate you all being here, and I hope to see an application from every single one of you very soon and to be welcoming you to Tulane very soon. Thank you, everyone. Happy Monday.